Okay, so the Axis now starts the combat phase. So the Axis is forced, to resolve each and every combat, every new engagement, but all are new engagements because this is the first impulse in which the Germans the Axis has engaged. So let's start with easy things first, and let's start with this fighting here, which involves the Germans. As you can see, one of the Germans have crossed a river, so it is marked with a blue cube to mark the river crossing. And the defender always, let's say always, rolls first, but it is not always true. So it rolls as many dice as dots the unit that the block has, so 1 in this case. And hits at 6 because the color of the dot is black. Then after, the Germans may roll the dice. So I roll half the dice with the river crossing unit, so 2 instead of 4, and I hit at 5 and 6 because the unit has white dots. So I have scored a hit, thus the Soviet unit is eliminated and the combat is over. I can deploy back to the map. Let's have a look at this combat in which the Germans also have artillery fire supporting the battle. So in this case, first artillery fire. So I roll a number of dice equal to the stars Manstein has, and I hit at 5 and 6 because the stars are white. Okay, 2 hits. So the Soviets are eliminated, and they do not roll anything because they only have a dot. So these ones as well are deployed here, but these 2 units remain visible to mark that they can blitz. Let's make this combat in which we have sent to combat the headquarters as well and a bomber. So, bombers always roll first, but the Soviets roll anti-air. So they roll 1 die for the tank, hitting at 5 and 6, and 1 die for the mechanized division, which rolls only at 6. So nothing. And now the Luftwaffe strikes, rolling 4 dice because the headquarters commanding the bomber has 4 stars, and it rolls at 5 and 6 because this is an anchor, so it has white background. But it misses all, so the airstrike is over. Then after, the defender rolls for the tank, rolling 2 dice in ground combat at 5 and 6, isn't it? And it scores a hit. And then he rolls another die for the mechanized division, which hit only at 6. So, how can I take my hits? I must reduce the strongest, so the unit which has more dots. In this case, I have 3, so it's the owner choice. And I want to reduce this one because in this way it still had 3 dots which are red. Instead, in this case, the dots are white. So, even if reducing the strength, I have a higher firepower. Not to mention that there is not any case in which I will be reducing the headquarters. So, I start rolling for the headquarters, 4 dice, and it hits at 5 and 6. It scored 1 hit, and the strongest unit must be reduced for the Soviets, which is the tank. Then I roll 4 dice for the 2nd Infantry Corps, which hits at 4, because it is red, 5 and 6, and it scored 2 additional hits, thus the Soviets are eliminated. And the combat is over. Please note that this unit may blitz. Theoretically, even this unit could blitz, but to blitz, a block must be in the combat range of an appropriate blitzing capable headquarters able to command him. So we have no. Let's have a look at these other combats in which we have artillery fire and airstrike. So first, artillery fire from Reinhardt, 4 dice, and it misses all. Then we have the anti-air, so each block rolls 1 die, so 1 die for the mechanized, missed, and 1 die for the tank, missed. Now the bomber rolls 4 dice, hitting at 5 and 6, and it scores 3 hits. But, as in this case, we are fighting into a yellow area. Thus, the defender has 1 absorb bonus. That means that 1 of my hits is absorbed by the terrain, and thus only 2 are inflicted to the Soviet units. The strongest must be reduced first, and then, yes, he can choose, and of course he will choose to eliminate the unit with the black dot, keeping the unit with the white dots for future fights. But the Germans still have to roll for ground combat. So they roll the 1st Panzer Division, which hits at 4, 5 and 6. The absorb bonus has been already spent, so the unit is eliminated. This unit cannot blitz because they have attacked into a yellow area. So they are turned upside up. Let's have a look at this combat in which we have another peculiarity of the game. So first of all, anti-air, it rolls 1 die for the unit and nothing, and then I roll 8 dice, 4 plus 4, but let's say that I miss them all, okay, and then I roll again for the other bomber, and as in this case I score just 1 hit. What happens now? The defender is reduced to 1, but as we are fighting into a green area and the attacker has tanks while the defender has none, this is a case in which the attacker rolls before. So we roll for the 26th Infantry Corps, hitting at 5 and 6, and we eliminate the defender. Again, in this case, as we have attacked into a green area, fast blocks may blitz. We will see it later. Let's go to Finland, because the Finns have taken the initiative and they are attacking along all the front. So let's start with easy things first. The combat in area 28. Now, when attacking into the Finnish attack zone, Finnish have a special ability which is called sniping. So each and every Finnish block rolls 1 die before the defender, and there is no absorb bonus. So not the German unit, but the Finnish Jäger rolls 1 die and hits at 5 and 6 because it depends on the maximum color he has. So this Soviet unit is immediately reduced to 1. Then goes the defender, which rolls now only 1 die, but misses. And then the attacker. I can roll them together because they both are white, so it doesn't matter. And we have scored 1 hit. But as the fighting takes place in a red area, Now it has 2 absorb bonus, so the hit is discarded. The original defender remains concealed, while the attacker remains visible. Let's have a look at this other combat in which we have more or less the same situation, but this time we have 2 finish blocks. So we have the snipering for the 11, which hits, and the snipering for the 7, which is a red, so hitting at 4 as well. So we have a double success. In this case, the Soviet unit is eliminated. Let's go to this other combat in which we have snipering again, and both are red, so they roll 2 dice for snipering, and they both hit, so the poor Soviet infantry is eliminated. And then we go here, in Viborg. A very important thing, because for the Soviets, having a defensive line negates the snipering. That's for this reason that the Finns have brought in their nasty Finnish heavy artillery, which rolls 3 dice and hits at 4, 5 and 6. They score 1 hit, but this hit is absorbed by the terrain, which is yellow. Now it's the time of the defender, which rolls 3 dice, 2 for the block and 1 for the defensive lines. These 3 dice can be rolled together because they are all black. Sorry, there is a hit. Sorry, I didn't see it. So this unit is reduced because it is the strongest from 4 to 3. And now we roll 3 dice for the Finnish infantry corps, which scores 1 hit. But this hit is absorbed by the city itself, which is marked in white. And then the other Finnish infantry division rolls 2 dice and score an additional hit. But this hit as well is absorbed by the defensive line. So, just to summarize, the Finns scored 1 hit, but it was absorbed by the terrain. Another hit, but it was absorbed by Viborg. Another hit, but it was absorbed by the defensive line. If the Finns would have scored an additional hit, this would have eliminated the defensive line. And then after, another hit would have reduced the Soviet infantry, and an additional one would have eliminated the infantry. Thus, to eliminate these 2 units into a yellow area with a city, we need to score 1 hit which is absorbed by the terrain, another hit which is absorbed by the city, another hit which is absorbed by the defensive line, and then finally we can start hitting the defensive line and then the unit. So 6 hits were needed in this case. The battle is over, and we can put them back in which the original defender is concealed behind the defensive line while the attacker remains visible.